Really, my whole life, I've been watching Hood Prince of Thieves, and for some reason that was really the movie that set things off for me, that I wanted to see filming locations. And to finally get here and see this, incredible. All right, so of course, the very beginning of the movie, really the beginning, is on a set. Robin Hood is in Jerusalem, but once he escapes that prison, he ends up here at these white cliffs. This is in the area called the Seven Sisters. How beautiful is this? These things are towering above me. This all was shot certainly at low tide, which it is definitely not low tide. In fact, the tide is definitely coming in. These go on for pretty far, miles. So it's kind of hard to tell, but I mean, this is really the general idea, but this is where it was. The very first scene. So once Azim and Robin Hood leave the White Cliffs, they come to the sycamore tree, and this is it. How beautiful is that?
Playing by the rules, boy. Deer don't climb trees. We teach him to fly? Yeah. Get him down.
Hold. I'm curious as to what manner of creature is so fearsome that it takes 6 men to attack it. Will it retreat the devil himself? Let me see. Small boy, a truly dangerous animal.
I advise you to move on, Pilgrim. This is the sheriff's land.
Wrong. This is my land and my tree. Therefore, whatever's in it also belongs to me.
Well, Loxley. Get him! Ah!
Azim! It's time to redeem that vow! Get off my land.
So there you have it. That's the scene, the Sycamore Gap, the Sycamore tree, whatever you want to call it. It is so awesome here, and just luckily happened to be here right around the golden hour. The sun is starting to set, and it's beautiful. All right, on to the next scene.
Father? Father? Anyone here? Duncan!
So of course, this is the Loxley Castle in Prince of Thieves. Now in the very beginning, Robin Hood's father comes out this door on his horse. And the sheriff's cousin and a bunch of the men are out here on the white suits, and he comes out here. So the gentleman that works here was telling me that they had put, actually there's some pictures of it that I'll add, they had put wood over this to make it look a little better condition, because this is really in, you know, it's in disrepair. And so he comes out on his horse right here, and this is right where they were all standing, and they attack him. It looks, in some ways, it looks very, very different. This thing is damaged. Talk about character. So you can see why in the movie they only showed it from the front, because there was nothing left back here. And fortunately for them, the front was in decent shape. And like I said, they put up that wood to make it look like it was in, you know, normal working order. Lord Loxley comes out of his castle, and the sheriff says, "Join us or die."
Join us or die.
God and King Richard!
They had to have had a platform so they could get a lot higher. I mean, this is kind of, I'm holding my camera up, but it's kind of a shot like this, where it shows all the men in white.
They filmed it from that corner because you look at the other side of the castle, it's fairly intact.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
I did wonder about that.
Wow, look at that. This is where it was. Right in front of this tree was where the grave was. And you can see the grotto in the background. Heh.
My world's turned upside down here. I cannot ask you to come where I'm going.
All right, now, of course, I'm going to take you inside.
Duncan, my father. Oh, it's a miracle. Boy, why didn't you cut him down? I would have done if I could see. Who did this to you, Duncan?
With the sheriff and this witch looking on, Nottingham declared all Loxley lands forfeit.
Did you believe the charges?
Not even when they took my eyes.
So after Robin buries his father, they leave the castle for good.
In my dreams alone have I imagined such a place.
So this is pretty much the exact location where they come out of the forest. And the camera would have been from just down there, just below those first set of rapids. So this is basically what they would have seen when they first came into the area. In reality, when you come out of the water, if the camera would have panned more to the right, you would have seen picnic tables and a little park area. So he gets off his horse and he's walking right in this area here. And you can see all the rocks have all the holes in them full of water. And then across the river here is where they're all standing, the goons, the merry men. They're all standing right there.
And claims he's got no bloody money. Is either a fool or a liar.
And then of course, when they start fighting, the first fall that he does into the waterfall is this one right here. It's basically right in that corner.
Lost something? Thanks for the taxes.
This is the lower area of those falls. Now, it's hard to get these shots. Most likely production had a huge a boom camera, or crane camera. It was probably somewhere in either in this area here or maybe up on top of the falls and it would angle and swing out. That middle waterfall comes down onto a little island there, and there's a rock on top of it. That's where Little John comes down, and that's when he's poking the water and he's looking for him, and he's like, you know, it's a bleeding shame, you know, he was a good lad.
We're not through yet.
All right, my old cocker. You want another good walloping? You should have one.
Seems I've made it past the gate, John Little. Or should I call you Little John?
Hit it, Father!
So here you go. This is the top of the falls where that fight happens. And this is the one that Costner falls down. Obviously, it's a stuntman.
Swimming time again, old chum.
I don't know if everybody catches this, but it's like a double waterfall. And they cut it weird in the movie. He falls, he hits, and they cut it. I'm guessing because that's solid rock, they probably put like a mat or some sort of cushion there, and it probably looked very obvious or stupid, so then they cut it. So he hits that, they cut it, they come back, and then he rolls into the water there.
It's a blooming shame. He was a brave lad.
You yield?
Yes!
Good. Now put your feet down.
I'll be buggered, Robin Loxley. You got balls of solid rock.
And funny thing is, this is a very popular area. It's a cute little town, and if you were to look the other way, had the camera pan this way, you can see the bridge that everybody walks over and drives over, and it's literally right there. Very pretty area.
No! I'm trying to stop a ball. No, you cannot go down there! I told you you can't go down there! You go down there! You stop! Do what? Cover your eyes.
My lady, don't!
So this is the famous waterfall where you see Kevin Costner's butt. Now this is just only for a brief, couple minutes. This is where Maid Marion, she has demanded to see Robin Hood, and Bull and the other guy take them to see him, and he's bathing here. He's swimming right here. And it's a beautiful waterfall. And that's it.
Come in! You got visitors! Don't look at me like that. It weren't my fault.
Madam, you be careful there.
It was
You be
Matt.
careful,
It weren't me. It weren't me.
Careful, it's slippery there.
One of the coolest things about this waterfall is that you can actually go behind it. A little special treat here for you. Check this out. How cool is that? Awesome. All right, on to the next location.
Guests!
Bring them down!
This tree here with that line, it looks like an arrow. It goes up and then has like an arrowhead right there. It's kind of hard to see on this camera, but that's it. That's in the shot. And then there's a hut right here, and you can see all of the commotion, everything going on down there. Currently outside of London at a park called Burnham Beeches, and this is where the that whole fort was built and filmed. Now, of course, there's no real remnants of anything left because it's a preserve, it's a park. So, you know, they weren't allowed to put nails into things and, you know, bolts into the trees. So everything had to be removed. And there's a lot of fake trees, by the way, because they couldn't, you know, attach ladders and all their gadgets and everything to the trees themselves. So fake trees were erected to hold those rope bridges and rope ladders. But look at this. What an amazing area.
Take your time now.
Can you do the misdistraction? Can you make the shot when you must?
And this is where they're all standing. And Robin Hood asks if young Wolf can shoot his arrow while being distracted. And he puts the arrow near his ear, and of course he misses. And then Maid Marion says, "Can you?" And she blows into his ear as he's trying to shoot, and the arrow goes flying off. Well, this is right here. They're standing right there, and the tree that they are shooting into was basically right in here. Unfortunately, it died. It had to be cut down due to a storm, but it was right in this area. This old pollard tree. This is right where Robin was finishing the graves. All those graves were set right here. These trees are very, very old, and as you can see that they, you know, a lot of times they'll put these poles up to try to hold it up, try to keep it surviving. In fact, I found on a website where someone was talking about they couldn't believe that back then in '91 they were able to film right on top. I mean, they were right there next to the tree, where nowadays there are a lot of things that are filmed here, and they certainly would have been filmed this as close as they were during Robin Hood, but this is definitely that tree. Of course, now it just has a fence around it. The only major scene that I did not get to, in my opinion, major scene, was Maid Marion's house, and it's on private property, and you have to walk miles down this road to it, and it was pouring rain when I was in northern England, which is where it is, and so I couldn't go. But here are some pictures of it so you can see exactly what it looks like and where it is. If you'd like to come to England and go and see it, this is where it's at. But there are obviously other locations, mostly smaller ones, like some London churches that had small scenes, and of course the castle, which actually is in the south of France, and they only used it for exterior shots. Most interior shots that you see was on a set. Even at the very end, that whole battle, that was on a set in Shepperton Studios. And also for just a couple very quick scenes, they used Alnwick Castle, which I'll show you here. I visited very quickly just to see this one spot. This also happens to be the castle that's used in Harry Potter as well. You can kind of see it from this angle here, where they run in. Robin and Azim run in here like that. And then there's one other scene a little later. It's when Friar Tuck confronts the bishop about just being crooked and being shady, and pushes him through the window, and he crash lands pretty much right here. He plops down to the ground right here, out of the window, And that window is non-existent. It was most likely a window in France. I don't know why they did it this way, but that's what they did. And I have to give a huge shout out to my friend Martin, who works here at Burnham Beaches and is a lover of that movie, loves this area, and I just got lucky, ran into him, and he was extremely knowledgeable of the area, the history, and of course the movie, where things were filmed, and helped me out so much because I wasn't even sure where this was. So I mean, big thanks to Martin. I'm sure you're watching right now, so thank you so much for helping us out find these locations and everything. And of course, if you're in the area, go check out Burnham Beaches because it's beautiful with these old pollard trees. It's just a gorgeous place. And if you run into Martin, tell him that I say hello.
By the power vested in me by God's holy church, I say any man who has reason why these two should not be joined, let him speak no, or forever hold his peace.
And the final scene, of course, is the wedding scene. And it was filmed right here in the woods. This is the only scene where you actually see the king, who happens to be Sean Connery. This is when he interrupts the wedding to give the bride away, give his cousin away. So that is the end of the movie. All's well, happy ending. And it's also the end of this filming locations video. This one has been really amazing to do because I have always wanted to see all these locations. This has always been one of my favorite movies. Let me know, leave a comment down below if you hated this movie, if you've never seen it, or if you loved it. I'm gonna get out of here. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.